Welcome to Mennonite Radio, episode number 16, produced on March 3, 2016.
We're airing on shortwave and internet radio stations. To find show notes, credits, and links to resources mentioned in this episode, please visit our website, mennoniteradio.org.
For today's program, I will be sharing a sermon that I preached last Sunday at Join Mennonite Church in Oklahoma City as part of the 43 Against Hate campaign, a campaign of 43 different religious communities in Oklahoma City of various religious traditions who used that Sunday to speak out against racial and religious and ethnic bigotry and hatred, and for the values of love, hospitality, and neighborliness. So, sermons rooted in our local context in Oklahoma City, but there's quite a bit that be universal to any situation. Be sure and check out our show notes at MennoniteRadio.org. There'll be some links there to more information about this campaign and about resources on how that you can work against hate and bigotry in your community.
Well, this morning, as Moses talked about, is the 41 Against Hate Sunday. And actually, I have good news. It is actually 43 Against Hate. Two more churches signed on. I think they signed on after the ad went in the paper, but there's 43 churches participating. It was on Wednesday. But there's 43 different religious communities. And I said churches, but actually there are the communities, there's quite a few different Christian churches at various times, but there's also a Sikh temple, there is I think there's a Buddhist community, maybe, there's Jewish synagogue, there's a mosque, so there's a broad range of religious communities. A Hindu temple, a broad range of religious communities across the religious spectrum that have joined in this Sunday. In fact, I'm going to read a few, and I was just really encouraged. The first ones are chapter, I think, yeah, some of those are. But I think several of the synagogues, one of the ones, the Hillel Center at OU, Lutheran Church, Mayflower, Disciples of Christ Church signed on, several Methodist churches, Christian churches, Prospect Baptist Church, Refugee Fellowship, I don't know who they are, but it's awesome. I think the Aurora Temple, Spring Creek Baptist, and that was encouraging me because that's kind of my part of town, and I was really surprised to see many Baptist churches, but particularly Northwest Oklahoma City Baptist. Several Episcopal churches, Catholic churches, to me, it's kind of hard to see all the congregations come together in this way. The circumstances behind this, though, are really sad. The circumstances of maybe where our political, social dialogue is right now. And it's a whole dark time. But in thinking about this, and thinking about where does this little community fit into that? I mean, if all those religious communities, we probably are the smallest or maybe the second smallest community on that list. So where do we fit in? Why is it important that we're on that list? Well, I think a big part of that goes back to our history at Joy. So I want to share a little bit, a very condensed version of our history, particularly as it relates to issues of working against hatred and bigotry. And I want to do this, partially, I think this history should give us some inspiration, but also it may teach us things that would lead us into the next phases of our congregation. One of the things that's very specific about that history is why are we in this particular house, in this particular neighborhood? Well, in 1965, and was it O. Ray Graber? Was he the guy that... O. Ray Graber was tasked by the I think it was it the conference or Mennonite Church as a whole? Western District. Okay. So the conference, at this time, this was in the Vietnam War era, there was a draft going on. Young men who got their number called were required to join the military, but they had the option of seeking exemption on various grounds, including conscience objection. And if they were granted conscience objection, they did alternative service. Alternative service is normally coordinated in peace churches, including churches like Mennonite Church. And so the Mennonites in particular said, we want our young people to do this alternative service, to do good work, but they really felt it's important for these centers as much as possible to be located in urban centers. Two reasons for that. One was that the Mennonite church leaders saw that there was a demographic change. People were moving to the cities, and the young people were not staying Mennonite often when they moved to the city. That was issue one. But issue two was they saw tremendous human needs in the cities that were not being